And we are back. Thank you so much for staying with us. And in case you're just joining us, welcome to Kenya's Gold. And the focus on the program today is to learn so much about coffee farming in Kenya. And we do have farmers and experts with us in studio. Now, in case you're wondering, hii board tuko nayo hapa leo ni ya nini? Well, we will be breaking down for you the system of DSS, just in case you've also been wondering, hii DSS ni nini? What is the difference between DSS model and the previous model that we have been using? So stick around for that and more. But for now, as promised, niliwaambia tutakuwa tunazungumzia magonjwa ambayo coffee farmers deal with in their farms. And I'll start with Samuel, being the newest, the last born hapa when it comes to coffee farming. Samuel, nataka uniambie, for those 4 years now that you've been doing coffee farming, kuna ugonjwa ambayo kwa shamba yako imekuwa ikikutatiza. Unapiga dawa, unafanya kila kitu, lakini ni kama hii ugonjwa inashinda ikirudi kwako. Is there?
No, because I'm using the resistance varieties. That is Batian and Riro 11. So
you're growing Riro 11 and Batian?
Yes.
Hiyo mbili umesema kabisa mambo na magonjwa haipati.
Sio vile. Hata kama ni moja sio vile.
How are you controlling that? Kwa sababu kuna watu wako na Riro 11 na wako na shida.
We usually use chemicals.
Okay.
And we are being advised by the companies that sells those chemicals. Yes, on which to use and when to use, when is the right time to use.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So Riro 11 and Batian, you can confirm they are quite disease resistant.
Yes.
All right. So I'll come to you, Mr. Gekonyo. Niambie kwa shamba yako, you're growing which variety?
I have a pure Batian variety. Pure
Batian? Yes. It's very rare to find someone in their entire farm, kile kitu ambacho wako nayo ni pure Batian. Sana sana utapata wamechanganisha SL 2834 na Ruiru. Why Batian? Fully.
When I planted Batian, that is about 13 years back, it was by choice. I had done my own research and I also talked to the people who did the research, that is from CRI. I also spoke to agronomists who have been working in coffee for many years, and their advice was we go for Batiani.
Right.
Well, I can't regret from where I sit in terms of doing Batian. As he's saying, I've never experienced the issues to do with the diseases, specifically the CBD and leaf rust. But leaf rust, a certain proportion. But this year, it has been a bit pronounced. And I think it's because of what is happening globally in terms of climate change.
Okay. Kwa hivyo kwa shamba yako uko na Batian, which you can also confirm it's quite disease resistant.
Yes.
Lakini hii mwaka umeona ni kama coffee leaf rust inakuja kwa sana. All right, Mr. Andrew, for the almost 50 years that you have been doing coffee farming, kuna ugonjwa ambayo imeshinda ikirudi kwa shamba yako. Kwanza anza kwa kutuambia variety ambayo unapanda ni gani, na kama kuna disease imekuwa ikikusumbua ni gani?
Mimi nilianza mapema sana kwa shamba babagu, na tulikuwa tumepanda ile kahawa tunaita SL28, SL34. Then recently I added some few Riro 11.
Right.
Therefore I have the 3.
Ugonjwa ambaye inakusumbua ni kama gani?
Ile inanisumbua sana ni coffee berry diseases.
Right.
Leaf rust. Hiyo ndio yatusumbua sana.
Right.
Lakini this year, let us talk about this year. We got the World Bank visited us in our area, and they taught us how to make our own organic farming, and we are using our own leaves, ash, makaa tunatumia, and this year we don't experience that.
Right.
To our SL 28 is the worst.
Right.
This year it's a little bit okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kwa hivyo mmefundishwa jinsi ya kutengeneza an organic,
because of this, we are under the rainforest, and the rainforests have discarded some chemicals because of I think they are somehow toxin.
All right.
Therefore, they taught us how to mix our own and to use copper
All right.
Copper is the one we are using.
Great. So for the viewer who's watching us back at home anashindwa hii coffee berry disease yenye inasumbua kulima ni gani? It's this one, right? Mr. Gikonyo? Ndio hii coffee berry disease whereby your cherries zinakuwa nyeusi kabisa zikiwa kwa mti hata zinaanguka zenyewe, si ndio? And then now we do have leaf rust, ndio hii. Na hapa naona iko in different stages. Kuna hii ambaye bado ni madoadoa kidogo kidogo, you can see yellow patches both under and on top of the leaf. Na kuna hii ambayo you can tell the entire leaf is rusted. Mr. Gikonyo, let me ask you, ukipata miti yako inakaa hivi, all right? Is this recoverable? Is there anything you can do to go back?
That is a leaf that is just about to fall. So, but when it is coming in, you can be able to manage.
So ikiwa hapa?
Yeah, ikiwa hapo, you can be able to manage and you can be able to contain the spread.
Right.
But when it is at that particular level, the only thing that is going to happen is that leaf will have to fall.
Right.
Yes. Again, sometimes it may also be worsened because, like for example, in our place we are not used to spraying copper at this particular time, especially when it is the resistant varieties. But because of what has happened, like now in the farm, there is some flowering that is happening. So meaning the leaves that are supposed to feed those flowers, sometimes the plant requires a lot of food.
Right.
And because of the weather, which is a bit cold, the food that is coming from the ground is not, it cannot sustain that.
Right.
So you require maybe to top it up with the foliar. So you find that because of that, some of the leaves are actually going down because of the consumption.
Right.
They cannot be able to sustain the production of food.
Okay. Yeah. So umesema ukipata leaf rust yako iko hivi, you're able to control this.
Yes.
Wakati mkulima anakuja kufanya spraying yake, tuna spray under ama on top. And also tell us what tunaambiwa there are times zenye si mzuri in between the day to do the spraying. So ule mkulima ambaye anaenda kufanya spraying yake afanya wakati upi na pia ana spray aje?
Yeah, thank you so much. Spraying for the fungos, because that is the fungal and the insect side, you have to spray both sides. Because you have to spray at the top and from the bottom.
Right.
That then there is enough coverage. Sometimes you also use the stickers so that then the chemicals is able to spread to the entire leaf.
Right.
So again, when you're also spraying, you don't need to spray when there is a lot of sunlight. So you need to do it when the weather is a bit cool, maybe in the morning or in the afternoon.
Yeah, all right. Na tuna spray both sides.
Yeah, both sides.
Good.
Yeah.
Kuna kaugonjwa kengine ambayo kwa mkulima, we couldn't bring it here kwa sababu hiyo ni madhigiriri. You can walk around in your farm, upate kuna kamti ambayo vigiriri wameamua kuattack your coffee, and we call that mealybugs.
Yeah.
Why does that happen? How do you control that?
Well, again, you also need to look at the timing. And also the issue of pruning. So you need to prune and ensure that there are no branches that are touching the ground. So that then you also reduce the level of the attack. Then you also use those insecticides to make sure that you're able to spray and manage that. Because again, there are some times when you are ready to spray, then again you might find that managing or containing them becomes a little bit expensive, or you may not even be able to do it until maybe that season is done.
Right.
Yes.
So in case you find uko na, let's say 500 trees, na ni miti kama 4 peke yake ziko na hiyo mealybugs, digiriris all over. Do you spray those 4 trees or 10 trees, or you have to spray the whole farm?
No, you can do selective spraying.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hivyo tusiharibu pia madawa tukispray kila mara.
That is again what we say from farmers' perspective. Farmers need a lot of information, because sometimes when you see something like that, you might find that people are doing the entire farm, which sometimes becomes very expensive. Right. Again, it's also important that you also liaise with the agronomist, because like when you use the coffee corridor, to date, it is not it is not tenable, because the way we used to follow the coffee corridor, you find that at times when weather was supposed to be hot, like the sun, today you find there is even raining. So you need to look at the agronomy so that they can come and maybe give you a prescription and advise you.
Right.
The other thing I would also advise farmers, avoid using agronomists from the companies that are selling chemicals. Because then for them, they will give information about their chemicals. Look at the person who is neutral. Look at the agronomist or an extension officer who will be able to give you the advice, and then they can be able to give you various chemicals that you can use to apply.
Great.
Yep.
Utapata kuna agronomist fulani nika yako biashara, ko sales.
Yes. Of course, they're in business.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for that insight. I'll come to you, Patricia. I want you to take me through the journey. Mdo, by the time you're packaging the coffee, you're taking it to the restaurants, unaichukua ikiwa in what state? How do you work with the farmers? How do you work with Mr. Andrew who's here? How do you work with Samuel? So that we make sure that their coffee iko in those restaurants that you take it to. Take us step by step from where you start.
Okay, sure. So mostly we do the farm tours with the farmers. And they are, at least I'm so lucky to have the first person who introduced me to coffee also was a farmer. And he happens to also have his own brand. So it was a very easy process for me to be able to move with him, and he teaches me every step by step how they do it. So we come from the farm with most likely buni, the dry coffee, which is now natural coffee, or if he has already done the washed process, so it is as parchment. And then there's a milling process where it is now milled to become green bean, and then there's a grading process, and now there's also the roasting process. And of course, in between there is cupping. So the cupping mostly is done by the people who are also roasting the coffee, because they do the whole process, and you're able to now get the end product, which is now the roasted coffee, depending on the profile that you need. Mostly it's dark and medium roast, and also in beans or ground. And again, it will also depend with what type of ground you want, because there are so many varieties in between. There's very fine ground, which is we call espresso ground. There's also filter grind, which you use such a machine to filter the coffee. And there's also very coarse that people use when they're using French presses, or even there's a cold dripping.
What is mostly preferred by the market so far in your journey?
Beans for the restaurants, definitely, because they have to grind on their own way. Some consumers who are also retail, who we sell as retail too, they prefer beans, because again, beans gives you the freshest taste of the coffee and the deepest senses of the coffee. Again, some also prefer just having it filter ground, that is medium ground, which is not very easy to use in such a machine, because it's an easy to use machine. Yes.
Mr. Kea, kuna wakulima walikuwa wanasema, even if we get into this process of value addition, the process with licensing is quite a challenge. Maka inabidi tunaachana nayo, we give it to the ones who are authorized to do that. Are we also trying to make sure that the licensing process in there is not as difficult and not rocket science, na hakuna corruption mingi hapo, inapewa select few na haipatiwi the farmers itself? What's the procedure of that? Maybe you can tell me about that very shortly.
Well, I think what we did is basically, if you own your coffee, then you don't need license. You can value add, you can do whatever you want to do with it. Now, when you now become a third party like Patricia, obviously, the nature of coffee is very, very technical, and its value addition is also, highly technical. But initially, before, we didn't allow roasters, the small roasters like Patricia, to buy. But this time, we allowed to. The laws allowed Patricia to go to the NCE and buy like maybe 2 sacks or whatever. That is what we provided for. So again, we thought initially was like just like the way Andrew explained it. You give your coffee, you have no idea how much is going to be paid, and even when you don't even participate. The way Konyo said, in terms of actually determining, the value and the profile of that, that cup. But at the existing law, I think Patricia can be able to get a roaster's license. And go and buy coffee in the NCE.
So the only license that Patricia needs for this business, anafaa kuwa na roaster's license.
Absolutely.
But if Gekonyo, Andrew, Samuel want to
those one they
don't need license.
They don't need it,
Good.
And you see what we did is to remove the fact I mentioned earlier on. That the farmer grow their coffee. They could not even taste it, even buying it. Under the old system. Once Andrew take his coffee, he cannot buy it if he want it. His own coffee.
He
could not access it. Right now, Andrew has all the right.
Thank you for that. We want to take a break. I know you have something to say. We'll come back to that later. But thank you for clarifying that our farmers do not need licenses if they want to process their own coffee. When we come back from this break that we are taking now, we're going to come to this board and break down for you the direct settlement system of payment. Stay right there for that and more.